We'd love to hear from you. I'm here with Mr. Neil Petch, who is the founder of Virtuzone. He's here to give us his thoughts. We're talking leadership this morning, and we want your takes on all things leadership. We've been asking you, what's the best bit of advice you've had with regards to leadership? Here's one that's come through already on the text. Equally, you can have your say online as well if you'd like to. Do reach out at Dubai I1038FM, hashtag Dubai I1038, or at Virtuzone, hashtag starting up with Virtuzone, hashtag be your own boss. Text message that's just arrived now, 4001. This saying this: for leadership, it's essential to shed a sense of identity in order to evolve and blend with circumstances. Okay, we'll take that on board, but let's put it to an expert as we talk leadership now, and what startups and entrepreneurs can learn from the experts to help grow their business and create happy and engaged workplaces. One such consultancy firm trying to teach entrepreneurs these skills is Sustain Leadership. Here's Catherine Cunningham with more.
Hanane Benkhallouk is an award-winning entrepreneur, educated in New York. She's called Dubai home for the past 16 years.
Today, I run my own boutique consultancy, Sustain Leadership, that aims in a nutshell to bring leadership skills to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial mindset to business leaders. I do believe that we don't build businesses, we build people who build businesses.
The consultancy firm has advised hundreds of business leaders from startups, SMEs, multinational corporations, governments and NGOs. Hanane's vision is to contribute to the move of the Arab region into an innovation and knowledge-based economy.
Well, absolute pleasure to say that joining us now live on the line and live via Microsoft Teams is Hanane. So, Hanane, thank you so much indeed for being with us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Just before we move on to talk more about your businesses and the strategies of growing businesses in general, just let's turn to those comments that are coming through from listeners. Neil and I just reached out a few moments ago asking people what constitutes leadership for you. Here's one comment that's come through. For leadership, it's essential to shed a sense of identity in order to evolve and blend with circumstances. Agree with that?
Yes, I do. Actually, leadership is all about creating that value-driven business. It's about having those DNA or identity that everybody would belong to. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that shared identity, that shared vision, that's not really leadership. Leadership is about creating that culture where everybody share these common values and work together willingly to achieve that vision for that business.
So our focus here on the show, there's a clue in the title of the segment, is startups, SMEs, those looking to get ahead in business. Do leadership strategies for a startup business change from a more established business?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, what I want to say first is for startups, leadership is very important. And the most important advice that I would like to give startup founders is to really make a difference between a founder mindset and a business leader mindset. Because through my experience working with a lot of incubators and many individual entrepreneurs, I feel that what prevents startups from scaling is really that difference, so that transition, failing to transit from that mindset of being a founder, which needs, that self-control, controlling the idea, being the one who want to launch, being really not just passionate, sometimes obsessed, which is good because that's what helps those ideas get off the ground. But once you launch, you need to know that that mindset of founder might really be against you, because when we want to grow, we need to embrace what I call CEO skills in the sense of business leadership. You need to be more courageous. It needs to be about building the people around you. It needs to be about motivating those people to help you grow and scale that business. So understanding that being a founder is very different from being a business leader is crucial for startups.
Yeah, Hanane, you make a really good point, which is an awful lot of the entrepreneurs that are starting up their businesses already naturally have leadership and are probably quite confident. So can I ask you, with reference to your business, how do you, because they've got a limited amount of money to spend, how do you turn what you provide, the consultancy advice that you give, from being what they might consider a luxury to a necessity? Because we have a lot of businesses who are trying to do the same thing. They have great advice to give, but people are thinking, oh, you know what, I'll do that when I've made a bit more money.
Well, because I run a boutique consultancy and I work with an agile business model, I kind of like practice what I preach, because when I work with entrepreneurs, I advise them to really manage with limited resources and to keep things really affordable for startups. We are running this consultancy with an agile business model, in the sense that we don't have practically any overheads, because the purpose of sustained leadership is to help create this ecosystem, is to help build more entrepreneurs in the Arab region, is to help people see their ideas come to life. And that purpose is really beyond the transaction of the business. And with that, I get to attract a lot of like-minded people who want to be part of this network of consultants that are helping. And for that, we work with consultants on a project basis, and sometimes we work with entrepreneurs as their mentors, and some of them offer us equity. So we have different ways of working, giving that advice and making it really affordable, because we do understand we are still considering ourselves, we're a boutique. I mean, we were startup until just 2 years ago. And so we know where they're coming from, and we give them that hands-on advice. And also most of our consultants are also entrepreneurs who have been there. So the advice is really practical, not like, we're not giving that advice of an established management consultancy that could probably take off-the-shelf solutions.
I know that to make a real difference, one of the expressions that Sustained Leadership have used is to transform a business. So if you were in an elevator with Tom Urquhart talking about his own little personal business, and you wanted to show him how he could really transform his business and how Sustained Leadership could do that, what would be the sort of 3 big bullet points that you would raise?
You need to remain relevant to the people that you are serving, and to the purpose, the deeper purpose, not like what is your product. So for us, our elevator pitch is helping companies transform so they can remain relevant in an ever-changing world. And to do that, you need to link to, don't link your business to the product, but link it to the change that you are making, the wider world. How is your business adding value to the wider world? Because the product can change and the way you deliver that value can change. But why? What is it that you are delivering? How you are improving people's lives? Or when I say people, I mean the target audience. Why they should buy from you or get your services, that's never going to change. So when you link what you do to that deeper purpose, there will be always a way we can change a product, we can change how we deliver it. Look at what happened just the past year. Businesses that knew that they knew how they are serving their audience could pivot and change their product, change probably the channels, how they're delivering it, but they kept their eye, they kept their focus towards how are they helping these people? What is the customer experience they are giving to their people?
So give us an example of how one of your customers pivoted over the last 12 months.
Okay, we're working with a retail business, yes, it's a retail business, and they never were considering going online, because they just thought that they're doing handcrafted items and handcrafted products. It's more of an artistic and tailor-made, and they thought they need to have that one-to-one with their customers. So they thought that going online is just going to undermine what they offer, and they were not ready for it. And as we kept digging about, this is not really about your product. What is it? How are you improving the life of your customers? You're giving them this artistic, even if your products are artistic and they are handmade, how can we really convert this experience to be still digital? And we did that through understanding few of their customers So we took a sample of the customers, we talked to them, and we found out that they started doing the meetings online. They started sending sketches to these people. They started sending tutorials that are online. And with that, we managed to transform that face-to-face experience and that coming to the shop and designing your own product into a digital experience. And it did not really impact the very essence of what the product offers.
And then can I ask you about time? The reason I ask you this, seems to be two schools of thought on this one when it comes to startups and setting up something new. There are those that say that you've got to give 24/7. In fact, you've got to give 26/8. You give every waking minute of every waking day to your new baby in order to nurture it, because that's the belief you give. There are others that say, hang on, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Keep your day job. Work on this at nights. Work on this at weekends. Is there a finite amount of time that you should be giving to a new business?
You see, it's an individual choice. I mean, a lot of people depends on their obligations. They choose to start a business part-time because they need that income. So they don't go through that stress of not having an income, because again, that's not going to help you focus to make the business happen. And but that also has the disadvantage that you can burn out and you're not going to have a lot of focus. And then there is the other. So it's both. It worked. I've seen entrepreneurs who have started businesses part-time while keeping their job, but then they had to give up a lot on their personal life. There were no more weekends, and they weren't doing a lot of personal, no hobbies, no going out, because they had to work on the weekends and at nights, and some of them suffered from burnout. But I've seen some that succeeded working on building their business while keeping their job. And I've seen others that said, listen, it's not going to happen unless I give it my all. So it really depends on personal circumstances. But I would say that we need to link it to deliverables or plan that strategy, those goals. What do I need to achieve to make this idea get off the ground and become a business, and then link that to probably some milestones. And with that, we can manage the time. If we have really good management skills, then we could keep the business we could keep the job and continue on building, at least to see it take off and see that the business idea is validated. And from there, we can take that decision of just giving full time. I personally could not do that because that comfort of, I still have a job and all the perks and all of that never helped me until I said, you know what, I need to take that risk and, have that emergency fund of 6 months. And then that's it. I'm taking the risk. Entrepreneurship is about taking initiative, is about taking the risk. If you're not ready to take the risk, then chances are that probably you won't be able to see that idea come to life.
Hanane, it's been absolutely lovely talking to you. Really appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for the advice as well and the insight, and thank you for allowing us to chat with you this morning. Our thanks to Hanane Benkhallouk, the Executive Director at Sustain Leadership, who is joining us live on the line and live via Microsoft Teams. In fact, we're going to be putting those thoughts to a startup in just a few moments' time, because we're going to be talking to all the team at Yippee, who will be joining us in just a few mo's. If you'd like to have your say, get your thoughts into us now, 4001.